It's also a very powerful cement manufacturing company there in Tanzania. Here we have quite many. We have Hima Cement, we have Toro Cement, but none of them is listed yet. Probably they should think about this. We also have TOL Gases and Uchumi Supermarket. Uchumi recently left Uganda about 5 years, I'm not sure, but Uchumi left Uganda, but it still has operations in Tanzania, and it is a listed entity on the stock exchange of Tanzania. Like I said, there's Vodacom, a telecom company. There's also Yetu Microfinance Company, and of course, we have Jubilee Holdings Limited, that is JHL. Code name is also a listed company, cross-listed from Kenya, but listed on the Dar es Salaam Stock Exchange. Then we have the DCB Commercial Bank and the Dar es Salaam, of course, Commercial Bank. So mostly you see they have a lot of local banks listing. Because banks are financial institutions and they handle a lot of money, it's a good idea for them to be listed, because that way they build confidence. One of the opportunities the stock exchange gives is that it gives confidence to clients of a company that is listed, that actually if this company could be listed, we can trust this company with our money. Because if people who are in the public, who have no idea about the company, who have no maybe employment history in the company, are trusting the company to invest in the company, then definitely me as a client who is looking for maybe a bank to work with, an investment bank, I will look for this bank that is listed, because already it has gone through the scrutiny of being listed on the stock exchange. So these are some of the opportunities that the banks in Tanzania have actually gripped, and have actually taken use of them and made opportunities for very many people on of course, the Tanzanian population. So this, of course, those are Jatu is another company, and of course CRDB Bank. Mostly banks. They have quite many banks compared to us here. We have about 2 locally, listed banks here in Uganda. That is Stanbic Bank and Bank of Baroda. But I would challenge as well other banks as well to consider listing on the stock exchange, as this will also create various opportunities for them, and create opportunities for also the nation to actually start investing on the stock market. Compared to our market in Uganda, yes, Tanzania is doing better. That's a fact. With a market capitalization of 15.6 trillion, Tanzania is doing way better, and of course an equity turnover of over 0.5 billion, shares. That is quite something for you there. Of course, Tanzania in East Africa comes just after the Nairobi Stock Exchange, which is the biggest stock exchange in East Africa, and of course with the highest number of listed companies, highest turnover, and the biggest market capitalization. In the second place is of course the Uganda, and then the Rwanda Stock Exchange, which is quite young. Rwanda Stock Exchange is quite young, but growing so rapidly, and we don't want it to so far, surpass, the Uganda Securities Exchange. We want our security exchange to grow faster and build a stronger, and firm ground for various other, benchmarking stock exchanges in Africa. Rwanda Stock Exchange started in 2011. Uganda Stock Exchange started around 2000. That is around 1999, 1998, 97. And then, of course, the Nairobi Stock Exchange, which is the oldest stock exchange, started in 1954. That is how the history of the stock exchanges has come about. And of course, the Nairobi Stock Exchange, you have to remember, was the one central stock exchange for East Africa back then. That is why everything started there and now spread out to other nations in the region, so that they could also benefit. But bottom line is, you as a Ugandan, to help actually grow our stock market, you need to start investing. Start right now. Investing is as simple as, first of all, save. Don't put money you're using on a daily into the stock market. You'll be disappointed. Like you see, companies gain and lose every now and then. You might put all your money there and get half back. Yes? So don't put the money that you're using right now. But that residual income, that saving you're keeping in a box, that money on your savings account, on your current account, put it out, bring it out there and put it in this, and probably 5-10 years from now, you may be one of the richest investors in the region, like we have seen many, who have actually invested. That is it, something we had to look at from the Tanzanian exchange, comparing the Tanzanian exchange to our own exchange, and of course, the various things that we need to keep flow of is the market capitalization. The more we grow our market capitalization, the more opportunities we create for our stock exchanges, the more opportunities we create for people on the market. And of course, if we can just grow surpassing other stock exchanges, it will attract much more investors, much more investment, and of course, it will attract more companies to list on our security exchange. That is something we wanted to actually give you before moving on to our top stories. But right now, I would like to start with one of our top stories concerning Centum Investments, of course, company. They are called Sidian Bank, that has been actually acquired by a Nigerian lender called Access. Now, the Nigerian lender took a stake into the company starting this week, and Access acquisition of Sidian marks Centum's exit of Kenya's lucrative financial services market after buying the majority stake in the K-Rep Bank in 2014. Now, Nigeria's top lender, Access Bank, will acquire majority of the assets in Sidian Bank from Centum Investments for about 4.3 billion Kenya shillings. That is about $36.8 million US dollars. 2 years after it entered the Kenyan market with the buyout of the transnational bank. Centum Investment on Tuesday announced a binding agreement to sell 83.4% stake in Sidian to the Nigerian lender Access Bank, which has been on an acquisition spree in Africa. The deal is the latest in Kenya's banking sector, where tougher supervision by the central bank and the proliferation of lenders have sparked a consolidation round in the industry since 2017. Access acquisition of Sidian marks Centum's exit from Kenya's lucrative financial services market after buying the majority stake in the K-Rep Bank in 2014. Access Bank acquired a 99.98% stake of Transnational Bank back then in 2020 from close associates of former President Daniel Moi in a deal valued at about 1.65 billion Kenyan shillings. Access, which has assets of about 25.5 billion US dollars, focuses on corporate retail banking, and it is expected to boost the growth in Sidian Bank, which has been under Centum Investment Company. It is also expected to merge with Transnational Bank, that was renamed Access Bank of Kenya. Now, Sidian, which started as a non-governmental organization before converting to a microfinancier in 1989 and later to a bank in 1999, mainly lends to small and medium enterprises, also known as the SMEs. Centum Investment Company PLC, that is Centum, announces today that it has entered into a bidding agreement, of course, with Access Bank PLC, that is Access Bank, regarding a proposed purchase of Access Bank Centum Investments' entire equity stake in Sidian Bank Limited. That is according to Centum CEO, Mr. James Moria, as he said in a statement to the newsrooms. It is expected that in due course, Sidian will be merged with Access Bank's subsidiary in Kenya, that is Access Kenya. And of course, this will create a stronger banking institution positioned to serve the Kenyan market. The Nigerian lender Access Bank has closed several buyouts deals in Africa recently, including the acquisition of South Africa's Grow Bank and loss-making Kavmont Bank from the Zambian arm of Namibian financial services group Capricorn. It became Nigeria's biggest lender last year, a status achieved after it acquired rival Diamond Bank in a $235 million deal that it said was meant to create Africa's largest bank, of course, by customers. That is a story right for Centum. Centum is a listed company, cross-listed here in Uganda as well. But as it sells some of its subsidiaries, of course, this affects directly the market. Because now, it means the company is growing a little bit smaller than it was before. And of course, as shareholders, probably as you invest in a company, you are looking at the company growing. So we want to see how this will affect Centum Investment Company on the stock market. But as well, as a shareholder, remember, you always look at your company and where it's moving to. You never know, Centum Investment could be having a strategy of maybe moving away from financial services into maybe the property market. Because it's an investment company, it invests in wide and diverse, different things, services, financial services, properties, and so on. So you never know, maybe it's moving into a different sector that could be more profitable than the financial services sector. So we're just watching. We just don't know yet what Centum has in mind for us. But at the moment, you have to remember Centum Investments has sold its company called the financial service company known as Sidian Bank to Access Bank, which is a Nigerian lender bank that is in charge of microfinance and especially in supporting small and medium enterprises to grow by giving them small loans and so on. So we shall be watching what Access also has in store for Sidian Bank and if it will help grow Access Bank. Access Bank already has a branch in Kenya and now is expanding its wings by acquiring some of these companies. So we will watch and see what happens for Centum right there. We are going into a short break, but when we return with more stories. Don't go anywhere.